Good morning. Good morning. It's like an old lady. I done forgot some. Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Today is Wednesday. We're joined in studio by Miss Bria Grant, Keon Jackson Malone, Carby. You cool with us, man, until you disagree with us. Then we can just go, you're little young. What do you know? You're just young. What do you know?
Tell you about them fair weather folks.
Them over here. You always solid.
Don't say them.
You cool until you
well, you know what I'm
disagree
saying?
with us.
You know, Mama used to call him that one over there. I mean, that's that one over there.
Yeah, that is how referred to in my family. That one over there. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
Oh, it's Valentine's Day.
What? This is driving me nuts, man.
What is it?
You need to get organized.
I'm here, Keith.
You got the basket here. You got the mic
Well,
here.
that was like
Man.
makeshift, right?
I just start off Michelle's show. AI.
Well, what about AI?
Well, they talked about AI for the whole program, basically.
You know, nowadays your Valentine can be your AI. They've programmed these things to be people, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, for a person that might have like a antisocial disorder, personality disorder, they don't have to have real relationships. They can design it in robots and have companionship in such a way.
Do you think that's humane?
Right, wrong, or indifferent, it's a possibility. It's available. Yeah. And so who am I to say what a person needs?
Well, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And you know, we should have did
Put the application in.
Oh man,
the
put
love
in
storm.
for the love storm. That's the breakup show.
The
Love storm.
Is this the breakup?
That's the breakup show. Yeah, boy. But happy Valentine's Day. What do you do anything special for Valentine's Day? You're not in red today. Well, your lips, but other than that, you're not in red today.
Well, Keith, I don't think it's necessary to have a particular day.
Or you grown now.
You said grown.
You grown now.
Well, I've actually always been this way.
Is it right?
Yeah, I just am not one. I'm not big on holidays.
Okay.
I mean, I don't need a recognized time to demonstrate my love for somebody. Right?
So you don't do Sweetest Day?
No, I mean it's good to participate in the activities that are happening during the time.
What about relationship anniversaries?
I know.
Birthday?
Keith, I mean, I think we're so full of ourselves that we have to be celebrated like that all the time.
What would I disappear about February the 1st? And then I show up about February 15th. 16th.
You one of those. Oh my gosh, you if I ain't never seen one ever, I'm looking at one today.
Just disappear.
Just disappear for whole 15 days.
For 15 days, and then show up on February 15th. What's happening, baby? And she go, where you been? Out trying to find myself. Which is funny. Saturday I did a group. Shout out to the good folks over at the Nevermore program, community advocates.
Yes, we love Nevermore.
Steve Thomas and Richard Johnson and all the good folks over there we work with. And so Saturday, a young brother came in, the session already started. So I think Richard asked him, he said, excuse me, man, are you lost? And the brother looked at him. He said, nah, man, I'm found.
Hotep.
Right, we had to back up. We like, oh, okay. All right. There you go, brother. Yeah. There you go, my brother.
So what do you get your wife for a Valentine? Nothing? Why?
She got a marriage license. What else she needed?
Keith. That's old now.
Old, but it's worth something. Worth more than that card. It's worth more than that Hallmark card that I'm gonna give her, and the flowers gonna die.
I mean, but it is the thought that counts. Yeah. So, do you do flowers throughout the year?
I think my anniversary, I might do flowers.
So you probably need another holiday to help demonstrate your.
Now I used to do flowers when she would. I still do. When she would finish her triathlon, she would have flowers, for completing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and everybody know in these situations, it's not your time, but did you finish?
Yes,
And
that's
so she
right.
takes
That's
great
right.
pride
That's
in
right.
finishing. So I always have a little something, maybe a little certificate for. But we have in our junk room, our
Uh-huh.
computer room, is
Uh-huh.
just a wall of medals.
Okay, from
Yeah.
her accomplishments.
Yeah, I'm married to an athlete.
You step your game up.
Yeah, I'm up in the spouse's box. No, I mean, I appreciate that, but no, especially because I know in athletics, the training that goes into it, and then the physical toll that it takes on your body, regardless of your age. I mean, if you're doing a marathon, people at the end of marathons their body is just,
Yeah.
because it does that. Or the people who do is it the ultimate fitness piece that they do? Those folks are really,
Yeah, they're stretching their body to the limit.
Right.
So aside of culturally related holidays, I do not get into it much.
What about Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl?
Yeah.
That's not a holiday.
Well, it's becoming a holiday.
It's a social gathering. So but like Valentine, first of all, it's pagan in its foundational,
So it's Christmas.
So it's Christmas, and I don't celebrate Christmas, Keith.
Okay.
And people probably don't know that.
What about
but
Easter?
I don't celebrate Easter.
Okay.
Yeah. Happy birthday to one of my pastors and his wife. Their birthday is today. So shout out Lady T, First Lady T over at
they both
Sharon
born on
Seventh
February
Adventist Church.
14th?
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that
Wow.
cool? And I think it's their anniversary or something like that too. So
that's crazy.
They made it a holiday. That's a reason to celebrate, right?
I got married on April the 8th, 1995. I met my wife on April the 8th, 1986.
Wow, you guys have been together for a really long time. Keith.
Yeah, and so we got married on the day we met. It fell on a Saturday. How about that? Met on a Saturday, April the 8th, and it fell on a Saturday that so that was April 8th. And somebody was joking, it's probably gonna be your divorce date too.
Oh, Keith, no. Maybe your death date, because
Wait. Oh, wait, what do you mean my death date? You'll be killing me.
Oh well,
I'm just trying to get a divorce. You trying to kill me.
Rhonda has to have some happiness. I'm joking, Rhonda.
No, be real talk.
Like I'll enjoy it with that benefit as a beneficiary.
You see her in July at my funeral in a fur coat. In July. Sit right there in the front row. It's like it's 97 degrees. You ever keep wanting me to have this fur coat?
Yes.
But he had to die for me to get it. So, can we get this caller? Carvey.
Oh, we got it.
No, green button.
Yep.
No. Carvey, bring up the green button for us there. Thank you, sir. Look at that talent. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Oh, that helps. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning to you.
Well, happy belated birthday, brother Christopher.
Oh, bro. I ain't called about that. Ain't even why I called. Thank you.
Belated birthday. As we say, of course, brother Christopher was born in Black History Month. Had to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just had to be.
You're trying to put unwanted pressure on me.
And then you born on your 13th is a transition number, right? Those folks.
13 means transition.
Yeah,
the 1
those
means
folks in the
God.
numerology.
The 3 means a trial, and the 3 plus the 1 is 4, and the 4 means foundation. So that means that I've been tried a lot by God to have a firm foundation. Anyway, you always
tried all of us.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Bria Grant. Correct. A most well-spoken sister who represents us exceptionally, I think. And you were talking about AI, and this is why I was motivated to bother you all. You were speaking about AI, and then you were talking about people who they probably are antisocial or have some type of psychological disposition. But I wanted to say this to be to the contrary. I hope and pray that people do not fall in love with artificial intelligence, some fake manifestation on a computer, and act as if it is a companion that will satisfy your emotional needs and wants and desires. You are a human being. You should seek interaction with others. Maybe you should be careful and more selective as to who you interact with. But please don't be hugging your computer talking about you in love with it. Thank you very much.
But you know
Well,
what?
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
but what's the difference then between people who you see a lot of relationships where they're going through the date finder, like the dating apps?
that's not AI.
Well,
I
it
mean, it's
could
not
be.
a companion like you're gonna
Sure, because
you're looking for options there. That's a tool to
Okay.
identify.
What
uh,
about people who form these relationships in their chat rooms?
Key I mean, that's a social interacting action. So what is actually happening for some people that afford this type of lifestyle? They have developed structures that look like me. They have real, I'm so serious, Keith. Like we can laugh at this and like, oh, that's not real. It's not gonna happen. Like these movies, some of these sci-fi movies in some ways they let us in on what's happening behind the scenes.
Okay.
And so the robots, they have skin-like texture.
Mm-hmm.
And they have programmed them to have intelligence.
Okay.
And in it, if I'm saying this right, the intuitiveness of the robot, because it's a robot. Make no mistake. Even though it has voice and it can move and it can interact and it can respond, it begins to build its personality based off our interactions. So it's a very, very real thing. Some people don't want to deal with folks. We have folks right now would prefer if they could program a wife. You remember that movie Stepford's Wives? One of my favorites. And particularly the newer one with Christopher Walken. And that one was really, really funny.
That's Will Ferrell. Is it Will Ferrell?
Now I don't. Yep, it is. It was Will Ferrell. Yep. But those things are real. And if I had the means to make, I have to have 5. I hate to say it. Sometimes I have to have. Nope, I'm not gonna say it.
She got to have it. Go on and say it. She got to have it.
You sometimes need 5 different people for one whole person nowadays.
She got to have it.
I mean, it's just not. You would like to think that you can find everything you want in one person. This is why people struggle with marriage.
Then you wouldn't have to compromise.
It doesn't. People don't want to compromise. People don't want to be pushed. They don't want to, step outside their comfort zone.
So
they
why
don't
would
be challenged.
So why, if I had a relationship where it's basically devoid of some of these emotions like jealousy, pettiness, envy,
wouldn't
anger,
that be the perfect relationship?
Of course it would be.
Yeah. So people buy that now.
So sign me up.
I mean, you get shit that might not look all that good, but you can get that.
Yeah, people
have always used. I mean, when you talk about human interaction, and it's really interesting we talk about this because we come off of COVID, where our human contact was like here's a little thing that was pre-COVID, and for a lot of time, I don't know if people even resumed it post-COVID. We used to have a moment of fellowship where people would go hug and
each other,
embrace and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Now, people kind of don't want you in their space. Mm-hmm. And we had 2-3 years where we weren't doing that. Mm-hmm. I think the difference between me being actually at the service as opposed to me doing it at home. Yeah. Of course, I do it at home and I don't have to dress up and the whole piece. But then there's that social piece that's really important. It's good to see Bria in person.
Absolutely.
And I remember when we first did the lockdown, I said my enemies would look good about right now, because we were so disconnected from each other. And maybe it just, when you talk about something like I had did a message on friendship, and I talked about, I got 877 people as friends on Facebook, but only one of them is really my friend. I'm talking about where I have that friend relationship, intimacy. Yeah. So we, and maybe it's always been that way. I mean, maybe technology now kind of color it differently than it was in the past. I don't know. I mean, I miss like real good love letters. The whole
write love letters?
Oh man, what else could I do? We didn't have.
Yeah, didn't have anything else. That's how you used your time. That's how we communicated. I had a pen pal in first grade.
Is that right?
Yeah.
and you would, and so you could put it down, and then there was the anticipation of waiting on the response.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole now is instantaneous. I send you a
And
text.
if I don't answer my phone or I don't respond to you, it's a problem. See, that's why people have AI as companions.
You better get it on the first ring.
See, you hear what I'm saying? No.
On the second ring, where you been? Who you with? Wait, baby, I was in the bathroom. Oh, all right.
Isn't that unfortunate? How our accessibility to people has created this codependence that is actually not healthy.
But you know what really helped me in some ways get over, and I still, someone was telling me yesterday how socially uncomfortable I am.
Keon, don't look at me like that.
In settings, and
I sound harsh. I know.
I mean, and that's that good Christian God created people for people type of person. I can't believe you just said that. I had to look out the corner of my eye at you.
No.
I mean,
The codependency can be very unhealthy in some ways, right? Especially if it's not healthy, and oftentimes it's not. Right. So he answered, just giving an example that I don't want to talk. I don't like talking about relationships. I think we are.
Why don't you like talking about relationships?
We are just so consumed with relationships.
Yes, but because you started off with the importance of that human interaction.
You started off with Happy Valentine's Day.
They call it the duality of man. It's like the soldier in Vietnam with the
total distraction to things that are really happening sometimes.
Relationships, human relationships, what we do every day.
It is true. We need relationships. They are very, very healthy. They are important to sustainability of a culture, and I get it all. But oftentimes we have such negative conversations about relationships because they're not healthy. We have gotten away from cultivating healthy relationships.
Have we ever had healthy relationships?
Yes, we have.
When? What year?
Who is this? Like,
oh, damn!
Always gets back to slavery.
It sounds so horrible. I know.
So much better for our relationships when we was in slavery.
We need each other. We know.
Boy, okay, I want to get back to the good old days.
Let me stop because we do have a serious conversation today.
But it's serious. I mean, I think we talk about this whole idea. I really believe, and I believe for Christianity, it really is about how we comport ourselves with one another. It talks about human relationships between one another. How we the care that we're supposed to have for each other, hospitality for each other, forgiveness, compassion.
Yes, agreed.
And I think that's where we struggle because what we miss is something that my good friend Mike Barber said to his son. He said, you know what you're missing? There's two people in that relationship. A lot of times we act like we're the only people in that relationship.
Agreed, yeah.
And we don't even think we're doing that. It is, but like I said, it is what Richard Dawkins calls the selfish gene.
And so that's why people have AI as companion.
Yeah,
because I can make my companion the way I want, and they're going to agree with me, and I'm going to be the best person in the world to them.
Narcissistic.
It is very narcissistic, and that's usually who would enjoy something like that. But I'm just putting it out there. So I recognize, right? I recognize that there are a couple things. One, it was stated that it is not good for man to be alone. We are designed. We have been created for interaction with one another. If two walk together, they're stronger. We know all of these things. But sometimes our society has created this narrative that it's always about a man or a woman. Like, we got a whole bunch of other things that we should be talking about, we should be dealing with in our community. I said
Western civilization.
That is Western civilization.
Western civilization.
I agree. And then it's always hypersexualized. Like, it's always about that. It just gets so just like, it's distracting. It's distracting.
You know what it is, though? It is.
Because hold on, wait, Keith. Think about all the drama shows that we have about men cheating and women cheating and all this dysfunctional interaction that folks are having with one another. It's hard for people to build real trust, genuine relationships. That's why you can say, I have 800 friends on my Facebook, but only one real friend. Like, this is a problem, and what would we find?
The 800 friends are the fact that you only got one real friend.
The fact that you can't decipher who your friends are.
Oh, you can decipher. I know my relationships.
Well, you're 60 years old, so maybe yes.
Oh, that's what it is.
65.
No, well, maturity
Give him his
in
5.
life helps us to be able to have that
Is he
discernment and
mature?
understand.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
When did I get mature?
Let me stop giving you credit.
Right.
Have you seen him and
Oh.
Michelle at the thing together, sitting next to each other?
Yeah, you don't want us at the same table. You don't want us even sitting at the movies together. We clown at the movies together. You can't take us nowhere. Flow rider, you
And they
can't
come
take
and
us
tell you
nowhere.
you out of order for not knowing which fork to use. They're
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah,
quit
that's what we
playing.
do at the table.
Well, okay.
But what I'm saying,
yeah.
but your point is how important relationships are. But then I really value intimate relationships. And what I mean by that is that people that I know that I can trust being me. In my mind, that is one of the highest forms of love, that you're in a relationship that is not judgment free. I mean,
Yeah,
that is judgment free,
yeah.
but that doesn't mean that they're not going to try to correct you because they love you. But the judgment piece comes where I condemn you, right? I mean, you ain't, because you ain't. And
If I talked about,
I love you, Keith.
guess what? What
don't.
happens? What happens when you talk about the things that the other things that matter in life, right? When we think about how we take care of one another, when we think about what's happening in our society, what's going on with our children, when we think about solutions, when we have conversations like that, the people that align with us are going to draw to us, right? If we're having conversations, do we have intellectual conversations about things that are happening
I
in
try
the
to.
world?
All the time.
I tried to, but then they shut me down.
Oh, mercy.
I
Oh,
really
baby.
tried.
Poor
They
little
just shut
tink
me down.
tink.
Yeah.
Hold little tink tink. Tink.
little tick over there.
Tink,
You be
tink.
all right, little tick. You listening to Community Voice. It's Wednesday. Joined in studio by Miss Bria Grant. Callers, we see you. We're gonna grab you right after the break. We'll be right back.
It's for you, Bria.
I'm on my way home.
This cue to claim your well-deserved prize. Let's go.
Bill Taylor's broadcast career began when he served in the U.S. Army in Saigon, Vietnam, working for the Armed Forces Radio and Television.
great impressions, perceptions, everything.
When it comes to graphic design and printing services, nothing is more important than details. At Great Impressions Graphic and Printing, their quick turnaround, competitive prices, and superior customer service have made them the #1 printer in Milwaukee for 20 years. High quality.
.5 FM.
Use my middle name. Welcome back to Community Voice. Was that a worthwhile lie?
That wasn't a lie. That was not a lie.
Because we was gonna tear up that.
Hold
joint.
on, that wasn't a lie.
Well, it was, but it wasn't what people called it. It wasn't what people called it.
It is. So some people will say omitted truth is a lie.
It is, if it's conscious.
Hold on, and okay,
Purposely done.
but that wasn't even omitted truth.
Well,
you are her friend, and your name is Bernard.
Okay. All right. Right.
So we do have a wonderful show today, Keith. Oh, did you
but-
say welcome back? I'm sorry. We just
No, I didn't even let folks know what y'all was talking about. I
Good.
just came.
Welcome back.
they have to log in on live. They got to tune in to Facebook Live.
They still want to know.
Yeah.
All right, we got a caller. Good morning.
Well, good morning. I'm gonna get out the way of your contest because that's not what I was really calling for.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Can we get the contest done then, and then you can call back?
I'm here now. I mean,
Right, he on the phone.
so I mean, but anyway, good morning, Keith. Good morning, Bria. Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, nephew. I'll be real. Good morning, Milwaukee. Shalom, peace and blessing to all. Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessing to all. Sunshine is pretty, a blessing, wonderful. Valentine's Day to all. It's all good for me because I did hear my sweetheart sing Shaka Khan, my special Valentine. So for the rest of the day forward, it's all the cherries on the top because that's all I needed for me. So, but yeah. So thank you. It was worth the wait. Yeah, Shaka Khan, my special Valentine. I heard it going through the channels, and yeah, I'm good. So have a great day. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was worth the wait. Thank you.
You played Chaka Khan's Funny Valentine?
I don't know.
Well, it don't matter. He heard it and it helped his day.
Right.
That's
He
all
heard it
that
while
matters.
he was waiting on you looking through something else.
That's okay.
Caller.
I think that's what he said. He was surfing somewhere. I don't know why he was waiting.
Caller.
I'm sorry.
Hey, what's happening, man?
Good morning. Good morning, Keith, Miss Grant.
Are you calling to win some tickets?
Oh, man, I was just calling to make a comment on what you guys were talking about. I'm sorry.
Said the first two callers.
Yeah, he was on hold for 20 minutes. You don't hang up.
Go ahead, caller. Thank you so much. You're so patient.
Be respectful.
He hangs up on people on the regular. Caller, welcome to the program.
So
blame it on me.
Can I
Yes.
just comment on your subject matter?
You sure can. Sorry about that, man.
No, you good. You good. Listen, I don't do Facebook, but I just wanted to ask you guys: do you guys still buy like cards on, like special occasion, Christmas or Valentine's, and yeah, so that at least that hasn't disappeared. I think texting is good to a certain degree, but I don't think it's anything wrong with like you brought up something, Keith, about writing letters. Yeah, that's a lost art. I remember writing letters and put a little cologne on there back in the day. No, Keith, you probably remember that too.
You drop a little brute on there, baby. Did this?
I don't know.
But you know what? But I would get letters back that was scented with perfume.
Oh yeah, that's a lost art. I think. I don't know if people still do that.
Yeah,
but listen. Do we all have to conform all the time to what everybody is doing? You really don't have to conform to, because a lot of people so many of us are followers. They follow whatever they see somebody else doing, which can be a bad thing in a lot of cases. But you don't have to follow. Like texting, like just my opinion. Like if it's someone's birthday, it's good just to give them a call them and sing to them or tell them. Don't send them a text. I think that is just not that was just something I just wanted to say. So I'll let you get back. I just want to just throw that out there, and I'll let you get back to your contest.
All right, appreciate it. So what I'm doing now?
Whatever you want.
Hey, caller, how are you this morning?
Okay.
Callers.
Good. Would you like to win some tickets?
Yes, I would.
Okay. And we're doing something a little different. We're going to give you a choice. So you can win 2 tickets to the Black Lens Black History Month films, 2 tickets to Milwaukee Auto Show, February 24th through March 3rd, or 2 tickets to Harley Davidson's Flat Out Friday Motorcycle Racing, February 23rd. Oh, at 5, sir. Oh.
Okay. I'll choose the Harley Davidson.
Yeah, man. What is that called? Motocross, right? Yeah.
That's straight out drag.
Yeah, that's motocross. All right. Hold on. So Kia, I can get your information, man. What station made you a winner?
WNOV.
That's right. The greatest station in the
nation. Say that.
In the nation.
Wisconsin's Negro-owned voice. You do know that's an acronym for WNOV.
Yes. And did you know what I found out?
I have to always remind people of that.
Reading Maurice White's book.
What's that?
I didn't realize that Chess Records owned WVON in Chicago.
Mm.
And so when they came up here, 68, right?
Cadillac Records.
Cadillac, yeah. That was interesting. That's a great book, by the way. If you're a big fan of Earth, Wind, and Fire, certainly get that book, My Life with Earth, Wind, and Fire, by Maurice White. Man, I learned so much about him, and then them being the greatest band of all time. It was really good. All right, so
you want to take this last caller, Keith?
yeah. So you can do it with
Before
your
we go
technical,
into our-
yeah, because you.
Before we go with our guest who's
Call-
in studio with us this morning.
Okay, caller, welcome to the program.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How
I
are
have
you?
a comment because like y'all speaking on people texting.
Can you turn your
and-
radio down, please, so we can?
Yes,
we
ma'am.
got a little bit of an echo.
Okay,
there you go. Okay, there you go. That's better.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have my comment is like I am old fashioned. I prefer to call a person or like write a letter or send a card out because that's what I do. I send out Valentine cards to certain gentlemen that friends of mine, and I like when people like say for instance somebody break up with me, they'll text me. I don't get down with that. I want you to break up with me in my face. Don't text me.
Be a
That's
man
so rude.
about it.
Right.
Just be a man about it.
Right. That I think that is so childish and rude to text somebody to break up with them. I'm just using
Well,
that.
you can make friends on the phone nowadays without even looking at being in front of them. It's crazy.
I know, but I just like,
Social
I'm
is no
old
longer
school.
social.
I wish we had texted back in the day when I was breaking up with people. I mean,
be a man about it.
You still had to come.
You about
to
disappeared that February 1st.
Oh no, they
trying to come back on the 15th.
Back on the 15th.
Yeah, because I had a friend like that. I had a friend like that. He would disappear for 2 weeks and think he coming back. I'll be like, oh no.
So how many times did he do that?
Ooh, too many.
You know what?
Did not blow your mind this time. Did not. 10 times or more. Yes, I walked out that door. Get this thing through your head. There'll be no more. Did not blow your mind.
Last time I was like, what are you doing?
Hey, what was that last one? She didn't bat an
This ain't
eye
that.
as I packed my bags to leave.
I'm gone.
This
guys.
ain't that.
Start to cry.
But but I don't know. It's never, man. Here we go, Bria. We get right that there is no easy way to say goodbye. And neither one of us.
Why you just can't? But I mean, these men are up in age. They from my era.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So why you being doing things a 12-year-old would do?
Because you're gonna jump on them.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, I keep my hands to myself.
That's what I'm scared of. You gonna jump on me, so.
No, I learned my lesson. I keep my hands to myself.
Thank you so much, caller. I'm going to encourage you to just love yourself.
Sound like she do.
Well,
Sound like she do.
She lay hands.
Well,
But
try Jesus. Don't try me, because I throw hands.
You know what? Oh, mercy, Lord. We talk about a serious conversation.
That was serious. Domestic violence is up.
Serious conversation here.
Since COVID.
Is there a proper way to break up in this age of technology? She said the text message is
But it's all installment. Break up to make up. That's all we do. First you love me, then you hate me. That's a game for fools. Hey, fool on.
Listen, this is why we need to be focused on. This is why it's so important for us to focus on developing ourselves, growing within, being solid for ourselves. Because if we immerse ourselves in the things that matter for us in our grand scheme of things, one, hopefully if it's for you, the universe will bring to you the person that's for you, and it won't hurt. It won't be overwhelming. It won't be a burden, because it's not supposed to be, right? But when we're doing things in our selfishness, meaning I want somebody to love on me, I want somebody to be here, I want to make
a man out of AI.
Well, whatever, it doesn't.
What's wrong with that?
I'm just saying. Anywho, talk about a serious conversation, because I ain't with the foolishness.
I just quoted you.
Just for 45 minutes. 45 minutes. 45 minutes.
What?
Well, you all foolishness.
There you go. There you go. Appreciate that.
So we have in studio with us Michael S. Harper, who is running for Milwaukee County Comptroller. I'm really excited about this candidate. One, because and I hate to say it's because he is a brother, but because he is a very smart and an intelligent person. That's why I'm really, really excited. But he's also a brother. And running for a seat that I don't think we've had his level of balance in this seat in Milwaukee County Comptroller. So I'd like to bring him to the mic, Mr. Michael Harper. Good morning to you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, thank you so much for being here with us. First of all, tell us, before you get into your own background, what is the role of Milwaukee County Comptroller?
Well, the role of the comptroller is someone who manages the finances for the county and the city. So the city also has a comptroller race going on. So not to confuse the electorate, but we do have a city and county race going on. But the primary duties are those of a fiscal agent, someone who's managing the debts that the county holds and has, and also signing contracts that many of our organizations in the community who provide services to the community are engaged in. So it is separate from the treasurer, who's collecting the monies from the taxpayers and et cetera. And then the county board and the county executive are responsible for setting kind of the policy around how that is allocated and invested with the assistance of the comptroller.
So this sounds like a really heavy, important role that requires knowledge, intuition, relationship skills. Tell us, the listening
ability
audience,
to count. I mean, right? The ability to count.
You need to be able to count, right? Some
Absolutely.
people don't know how to count small numbers or big ones, or short term. Keith, don't raise your hand, babe. Short term or long term, because that's often where my area of concern is. Oftentimes, people know how to spend money in the moment, but they don't know how to plan long term for dollars, right? Like not 5 years, or I'm sorry, not 1 year, but 10, 20, 400 years. Keith reminded me of our 400-year plan, because that's what we're on, right? We need to have a 400-year plan.
Another 400?
Listen.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen, this is a structure. How long has county government been in place?
Since what, 1865?
100 years.
170 years.
100 plus years. 100 and almost
60,
200 years.
Yeah.
Almost 200 years, right? They're halfway there. We behind. Anyways, don't do that to me.
I just like to get on that roll.
No,
so tell us about
seriously. So tell us why you are capable and qualified to take on this responsibility.
As you already noted, this is a job about numbers. I've been doing numbers since I was a kid in many respects, but I would say the most relevant and most recent experience, I spent 5 years as the Milwaukee County Pension Board trustee and chaired that board for 2.5 years. And that was, in that capacity, a lot about the investment of those resources for the beneficiaries, which is a $2.2 billion pension plan. And prior to that, I spent my early career as a trader on the Chicago Board Options Exchange, on the Chicago Stock Exchange. So I've been in financial services and capital markets for the most part of my career, and then spent a good majority of that also as an entrepreneur. So, I mean, I've been a person who's rolled up to figure out small business, institutional investing. You mentioned networks and relationships. As a trustee, I've developed a pretty broad network of other professionals in institutional investment arena, which is important in a time where we're trying to consider some of the challenges that we face in Milwaukee and across urban America in general. It's just been a long, protracted period of disinvestment. And that's a part of, how we start to cure some of the challenges that we have. We have to roll up our sleeves as investors, get involved in that 400-year plan, and be very, very intentional and strategic about it. And the reality is it won't happen overnight, but there's some things that we need to do today that make an impact on that future outcome that we desire.
So going in, first 90 days, what's the plan?
The first 90 days is realize that there's already a very capable staff of people working there and have been working for the county. It's a team of 60 people. And really it's just understanding what we already know. And so there's already a capital improvement plan that has been approved, so the first thing to do is getting it done, you know, and that's a large part of what I got motivated to this process to do, is get things done. I've been advocating for a long time for economic improvement in our community. I'll just point down the street, down Capitol, as an example, Century City. So that's been something that's been a passion, an area that I know has a history, but also has a future. And it's going to require someone who has a commitment to investing in that part of our community to build from the inside out so that we can see the results that we want in our community. Unfortunately, there is no white knight coming. And so if we're not committed to solving our own challenges and problems today, we're going to continue to have those, unfortunately.
So when you think about some of the challenges at the Milwaukee County level, one, I like to think some of them will be alleviated as a part of the new tax support. But the pension is a big piece of what people will say, whoa, right? You know, this, like, the pension is why the county is struggling, right? And so we have this person as the chair, and how are you able to address some of the concerns that people may have? Not the county folks, it's all the people at the county that are beneficiaries of the pension, i.e. Keith. They're okay, right? But other people that are right now, you're okay, Keith. All right. But we're thinking long term again, right? What are ways to communicate what's happening there to the community? And how are we going to ensure that, you know, we can maintain all of the responsibilities and obligations, and then also expand, as you share, to have additional investments?
Sure. Let's just kind of rewind the tape a little bit. During that time, I sat on the Sustainability Task Force back in 2018, where we were evaluating whether or not to freeze the pension at that time, or what options that we could exercise to kind of again cure the liability that we had. You know, one of the things that was not politically palatable at the time is we could have issued pension obligation bonds. And so think about issuing $800 million of bonds 5 years ago when interest rates were 2% versus them being 6 or 7% now. So just right there is an immediate savings of $40 million a year that we could have realized, you know, in exercising that. But that required political will that we didn't possess at the time. And so that gets into where we are now with Act 12, you know, a poorly negotiated piece of legislation that we have to live with now. But I'm saying we could have been out of that situation then without Act 12. Now that we have Act 12 going forward, you know, I think a key priority is looking at how are we going to invest that $300 million in the innovation fund. And so that was something that was couched within the legislation that we need to understand, because that's how we're going to improve the services that we deliver and the quality of the services that we can deliver, by looking at ways that we can invest those types of dollars to improve the services that we provide.
So does the comptroller have control over how those dollars are directed, or is the comptroller basically the bookkeeper? And I think do you all pay the bills?
We pay the bills. Right.
So you're the bookkeeper, disbursements, that type of thing. But how much would you have influence in terms of directing stuff? You just more in a reactive role as the comptroller, right?
No, I wouldn't say as reactive as it may appear, because the comptroller sits and is a part of the capital improvements committee. So they're establishing the 5-year plan that sets the priorities for where the money will be invested. So, you know, I brought a piece of, this is a couple weeks ago, a meeting agenda where they just signed off on $247 million of bonds that they plan to issue for capital expenditures for deferred maintenance and other capital expenditure projects. So that is where it's an influential role in that process. So it's not just being a reactor. You know, when we think about the next major projects that are on the table right now, you know, the comptroller and his team is evaluating how do we put that resource together. So it's saying, do we need to go to the capital markets and raise more bonds? You know, where does that money come as it relates to what we have available through the tax levy? You know, where's revenue coming in that we can then redeploy for investment and allocating towards maintaining our assets as well as investing in the future growth.
When you were talking about Act 12, I think particularly for the city of Milwaukee, part of them, I hate to say pension bailout, but basically their pension bailout was that any new employee would be enrolled in the state retirement system. I do remember going to some of those task force meetings that they were having about the pension. I think Ralph Holman was one of the co-chairs of that group. They were looking at it. And I know you were talking about the two. Just so people know, for a county pension, they've written in that every year you get what they call a 2% elevator, right?
Yeah.
But that 2% could be very significant. So what they were saying was maybe we need to re-examine that 2%. And I'm telling you, it was like, and I understand that, because if you're a pensioner, unlike other people, you go out and do your pension is pretty much set. Right. So that 2%, and based on what inflation has been, that 2% didn't even deal with the inflation that we dealt with when it was 7, 8, 9%, right?
No, and think about the inflation in your energy bills going up 14, 15%. So if you're on a fixed income, your income is increasing 14, 15% a year, and your expenses are, 7 times what that rate was even at that time, right? And so, we had to look at the impact on all of the community, not just parts of the community. And we all may have to take a haircut at some point or at a period in time if the future is what we're trying to achieve.
My pitch.
Wait, say that again. We all have to take a haircut.
Not my
We all
pension.
might have to have
Somebody
a
had called
haircut.
in. We were having this discussion about the pension, and
Those county workers don't like
city workers, state workers, federal workers, anybody got a pension. Anybody work for a private company got a pension. But if someone called in and said, they should cut the pensions in half.
People earn their pensions. It's not to take away, but there has to be some concession, because 13,000 people can't dictate the direction of 1.3 million.
That's right.
And so we have to have some balance in that. Because when you go back, so time at the pension was interesting, because we had 4 directors in 5 years. So we had a tremendous amount of turnover. We had a lot of errors to correct. We had ordinances to revise and things in the plan document that needed to be addressed, that they were reflective of the times that we're in now. But then you had all of those additional inducements. I used to call it a plan of fiefdoms and thiefdoms, because you had all of these interests that have carved out, some enrichments for themselves, not for the benefit of the whole, but for themselves. You didn't have nothing to do with that.
I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Right.
But I did benefit from it. I had nothing to do with it, but I did get my drop
You
back.
recognize it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. Yeah.
So fair, we know that fair is out on Greenfield on 84th, but
it's relative. It's fluid. It's shifting.
Right.
Well, let's do this before you get started, because I want you to make your point. You're listening to Community Voice. We're joined in studio by Mr. Michael Harper. He is a candidate for Milwaukee County Comptroller. You get back and finish your point. We'll be right back.
For CB Marketing Agency, where small businesses make a big impact on social media. Your success is our business.
2024 Soul Stirring Gospel Easter Bash, March 31st. Sponsored by the New Pitts Mortuary, located at 2031 West on Capitol Drive. Pick your tickets at 45 in advance, 50 at the door. On my way home, the Captain Spiritual. Oh, the gospel for. He's blessing me. I feel it in my feet right now. Baby, you better meet me there. Brunch at 1. The show begins at 4 p.m. The fabulous Lucky Brothers. My soul is a witness. I feel it down on the inside. Be right there at Abundant Faith, located at 7830 West Good Hope Road. Oh, Willie Rogers. We're going to a meeting on that day. I see them marching down the street. Come on in from everywhere, northwest, south. Oh, it's going down. There's a leak in this old building, Bishop Neil Robertson, and my soul has got to move. Don't you miss it. Call the New Pitts Mortuary 414-447-6000. It's going down at the Soul Stirring Gospel Easter Bash. Oh, I gotta stop right there, Brian. Back in top, my feet got light. I feel myself flying right about now. Come on now, you don't want to miss it. Be right there in the house. It's going down. Come on now, Tiffany Terry. Everybody know he's my friend. Oh, you don't want to miss it. You be right there. That Soul Stirring Gospel Easter Bash. That food is going to be yummy, yummy, yummy. I'll tell you, come on now, Reverend R.L. Bush and the Revived Sons. Put the weight on me. Oh, not that kind of weight, because that food gonna be so scrumptious. Pick your tickets up at the New Pitts Mortuary.
WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
Remember the days when we never had a dime, and our dreams seemed a million miles away. But we made it, baby, facing the bad times with a smile. Here we are, growing stronger day by day, 'cause we got love times love. It's always there for us to share. And girl, it sure feels good to know you're by my side. 'Cause we're the two high hearts that beat as one. Forever, with the love times love to keep us satisfied.
You're inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
Right now, Bria said she should have been born in the 70s because she was rocking. I said, no, rocking
Well,
right
what
now.
year is this song, Keith? I mean, Keon.
That's 80 something. No,
Oh, I think it
70
sounds like 80s. I was born in the 80s. Yeah, this is my era.
Keith might know he was there. What year is that song? How old were you when that came out? I can tell you when Snoop came out in 91.
I was there when they invented electricity, and man, it was a world changer. We were having
You
that
know
same
what?
conversation about electricity we're having about AI.
You know,
Oh,
you couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine what electricity would do to the
Right,
world
right.
today.
And all these people pushing back on AI, y'all was pushing back on electricity.
I mean, he
Okay?
did it like a fool out there with a kite in the rain. Like, no, what is you doing, man? What about the arc?
AI is
It's
here.
here. It's been
Yeah.
here a long time.
1980, bro.
1980. I
Oh,
was
that
almost.
would have been 70s.
Yeah, he got produced in the 70s. He got released in 80.
70 and 80.
Okay, yeah, I
Look
knew
at
that
you.
flavor. I knew it because you know I
You
I
were
done watched
born in that.
Scarface like 79 times. I know the era.
So, Mike, tell us a little bit about, you were saying your experience, but, where you grew up a little bit.
Yeah, I grew up on 39th and Flores, right by
You didn't grow up
Berryland.
in 53206 like
You know
like
what?
everybody else in
Hold
this
on,
city.
39th and Flores. That's dang near.
Well, when we moved over there, we were the first black family on the block.
Oh.
Yeah. So
How
I
long did it
mean,
last?
but it lasted for a while. But my cousin came from Cleveland to help my mom. She had broke her ankle, and one of the best things he introduced me to was Berryland. And she was like, boy, why you always over at Berryland? I was like, because that's where the playground is. And so from 8 years on upward I went to college. I mean, that was my neighborhood, my community. I attended university school.
Oh, that's amazing. We just got done talking about that.
Is that right?
Yeah. So one of my good friends from that era also is the city development commissioner, Lafayette Crump.
Crump was out there?
Yeah. I was a class ahead of Lafayette. My good friend D'Angelo Middleton, Low, we called him Low, off 23rd and Locust. So we went from Hartford to university school. Me, D'Angelo, and Ernest Montgomery. We were fortunate enough to get exposed to that educational experience and took advantage of it.
People forget that Hartford was the school for the gifted and talented.
Yes,
a lot of people forget that back in the day. Wes McKenzie?
I know that name.
Oh yeah. Wes. He's now the VP of Columbia Savings and Loan Bank.
Okay, yeah, that's where I know
Ernie Jones.
Yeah. So let me just share
Gerald Jones
really
Jr.
quickly, because there is this it's so unfortunate. The narrative that has been painted for Black men has really dominated a lot of the image that we have, right? This is an intelligent individual. And I think we assume when our Black men go to prestigious schools and institutions that they are quote unquote, oh, I hate to say it out loud.
Say it.
That they are quote unquote squares.
Yes.
Where you get that from?
I don't know why.
Because everybody in my neighborhood
nerds.
No cut of
We
hay,
need to really embrace
blurds.
Listen. I'm
blurds.
Is that what they call
Black
them?
nerds? Blurds.
I called it cool nerds.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, but to be honest, I mean, my mom required me to have honor roll to play basketball. So
that's right.
So it was just and she always said I was just doing the minimum so I can do what I want. And she was true. It was true. And so it challenged me to excel in an environment like that, but it was because I wanted to do something else. And so, but in retrospect, you know, it exposed me to, you know, not just the educational challenge, but also the cultural exposure that I had. You know what I mean? Because I grew up, I say, hey man, we were okay. But you go out to Ferry Chasm and you like, it's a whole nother situation going on out here. And
lunch
and the names on the walls, those names been around for 100 years too. And so now you start to put some context to, okay, this is history, this is legacy, this is not just wealth, but it's, you know, this is how it's preserved also. So it was truly a great experience. And when I was there, it was only 3 Blacks in my graduating class. It was only 12 of us, you know, in the high school. So it wasn't like it is today, where you have, you know, a lot of our community have been able to participate in that great educational experience.
It's interesting, but it is. When I went to Dominican, the whiteness wasn't jarring. I could deal with that. It was the class difference. It was the money difference. And when people, you know, you can think about race, and race is real, but I'm telling you, class is real. I mean, when you're out there, you know. So what you doing for Easter vacation? Nothing. What you doing? Oh, we're going skiing.
We're going to Vail.
We're going to Vail. I'm like, oh, you are? Like, oh wow, no.
But that's also this concept called social bias, where it's important for us to immerse children that may not necessarily, particularly in their youth, that may not have access or exposure to different cultures, and they get that access because they are in schools that give them the connections, the social connections, to be more exposed and to kind of diversify their network, their social network. It's really important.
Let me just, but the other thing that opened that door for me was growing up, I was a hooper. So most people growing up know me from days playing Warning for Lincoln and, you know, being a hooper. So, you know, that was also my past. I like the movie Finding Forrester because it parallels a lot of my experience, you know, being a ball player, going to an elite school, you know, and discovering some things about myself, but also taking advantage of the access that playing basketball provided me, because it was the basketball coach Calandro who recruited me for an AAU team that played in Europe my freshman year. So I got a chance to go play basketball in Europe when I was 13 years old, you know, on a 19 and under team. So it was those types of things that set the foundation. But it was also, you know, just realizing that you have to venture out into places that you're less comfortable with. And even as I made the decision to get into this race, you know, it was something that I had to think about, because it was moving me out of my comfort zone. I was okay being in the shadows doing what I've been doing for the last 20 years, but in order to be an impact player, I knew that I had to move out. And so that's the part of getting uncomfortable, so that move out so that you can move up. So
what kind of, I'm sorry.
No, I think, and as it relates to what you bring then to the job and being able to truly understand, I mean, you know, because for some folks, I couldn't even tell who is the current comptroller.
Scott Mansky.
There's my point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that most people really don't know who it was. And for many years, most people didn't know who the clerk of courts was.
Right.
Right. They didn't know that was Tom Barrett's brother. I think Anna Hodges running kind of went like, oh, this office is out here. And how important it was, especially for folks that look like us, because some of us, we have a disproportionate percentage of folks that look like you and I who are going through the court systems for whatever reason. So to have someone there, so even there, to talk comptroller and fiscal responsibility. So when you go in, I remember my mom gave us some money to invest. And when we were at the investment firm, they have you do a risk assessment.
Right.
And what really surprised me was, out of my 3 civs, I was the most risk averse. So when you look at that in terms of when you go in and because they're recommendations you're going to make.
Right.
So how would you view yourself? Are you one person who says, you know, we should try it? Are you risk averse? Are you somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I would say I'm a risk manager. Because there is a level of assumed risk that we have to make as investors. And so there is a level of pragmatism and conservatism that you have to also exercise, because the big word I'm used today, you're a fiduciary. So your decisions impact people, you know, that entrust you to make those types of decisions. So whether I'm as risk seeking as I want to be doesn't matter, because I'm not doing it for my benefit. And that's the role of a fiduciary, is to do it for the exclusive benefit of the beneficiaries. But again, a part of what we need to evaluate are the types of prudent risks that we need to make to grow our county. Example, transit is one of those areas. You know, we're in a place where we have a north-south bus rapid transit system that's being proposed. I don't know if people are aware of that. That's another $150 million worth of prospective investment to improve the 27th Street bus line, which is one of the longest bus lines in the county. There's the looking at the safety building, which has been in deferred maintenance for a number of years. Unfortunately, the ticket has gone from $350 to $550, and that's million over the last 5 years. But again, that's the cost of waiting.
What?
$550 million.
$550 million?
Yes.
For the safety building?
Yes.
So would it be more cost efficient than to build a new one?
Well, we need to build a new one, but waiting cost us $200 million is what I'm saying. So when it was proposed in 2018, the ticket was $350 million. So the cost of the wait is what's killing us now. You know, so that additional $200 million plus higher interest rates, you know, what's the risk in that? The risk is that it doesn't get done. Yeah. Because the cost continues to escalate and get out of it. But we can't continue to operate facilities that are costing us that type of money, and the deferred maintenance is something that's producing a safety issue that no longer can be ignored.
Yeah. No, this is a lot of information, Michael. And you like Mike or Michael?
Most people call me Hart, but you know, it's Michael.
I like
my mama called me Michael. My name is Michael. No, I'm just kidding. And my dad is Mike.
And we had no nicknames in my family. She named you Keith. You're Keith. Don't come in here talking about here come Pookie. Keith.
So this is a lot. This is a lot to process, and I don't know that for me as a citizen and a voter, this is not information that is brought to me. You know, you have to you have to attend these meetings.
Yeah.
How do you envision keeping the community informed as the comptroller?
Listen, these sessions need to continue, you know, because it's just not operating in a vacuum. And the more informed we are, the better the decisions we can make.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is just a platform to just share this information. For example, tomorrow at Clinton Rose Center, if you're a senior, you should be there between 10 and noon. They have a senior home repair project that the county is launching that will provide home repair improvements, including energy efficiency, electrical, plumbing. Come get the information. That's a starting point. You know, we have Senate Bill 226 circulating right now that will enable community solar. It's actually being passed by the Republican legislature, but it has impact on our community because of the federal dollars available through the Inflation Reduction Act. So we need to have a voice in that conversation. So again, if we're not receiving the information, we can't get activated to be involved. You know, electric vehicles. I've been involved in that business the last couple of years. You know, again, a unique opportunity that will impact infrastructure, and infrastructure is the flavor of the day. And there are billions of dollars that we need to be aggressively pursuing at every level of government so that we can realize those dollars in our community.
Can you give the time? You said tomorrow at Clinton Rose Center for that senior home repair. I know a lot of people have been chiming in about that, asking about
10 to noon.
10 to noon?
Yes, sir.
So
it's not an election year, is it?
I got you.
Y'all get over to Clinton Rose already.
Yeah. Come see about it.
Come see about it.
You got to come see about it.
Boy.
Because once you hear about it, you got to come see about it.
Ain't
you know,
like election year goodies. Take full advantage.
Well. That being said, again, if we haven't been paying attention, we have Act 12 that got enacted, right?
Right.
But what's happening now? The legislature is preparing to give $2 billion back to people. But they've expanded the group of people that are eligible. So it used to be a cap at about $40,000. Now they've expanded who's eligible to $120,000 a household. That means they're giving people who don't even need it money back. But we could have used that same money to pay our bills in the city of Milwaukee, but we got saddled with a bill.
Election year?
It wasn't even an election when
no, but I'm saying,
yeah.
But this is an election year.
Yeah.
This is a gimme. It's been done before.
Yeah.
Everyone remember the Scott Walker child credit, the $500 credit that they sent out, and people said take the money and vote for somebody else.
They expanded the pool of people who are eligible, and if that was is that the most prudent use of our surplus? We're going from a $7 billion surplus to under $3 billion, and we just giving the money away. And then we're saddled in Milwaukee County, in the city of Milwaukee, for paying that bill.
Right. And here's what's really fascinating. Even after Act 12, even after the recalibrated revenue sharing, municipalities, small and large, are still in trouble.
Yes.
Because what they should have done was because look, it was the citizens in Milwaukee County, it's the citizens in all these other counties that pay into that revenue that's sitting there, that $7 billion surplus, right? So then give it back where people can really benefit from it. And that's great. You give me $500, but there's some structural things that we need to see happen in a municipality. I think it's a little bit more important than sending me a $200
If you hit that pothole out there, you probably gonna need a new tire and a front end working. It's gonna cost. Yeah,
but it says it costs $2,000 more to operate a car in Milwaukee in the city.
Wow.
Costs $2,000 more.
Wow.
So
Harp, what do we need to do to support you? How can residents, voters who, resonate with your message, who you are, your experience, appreciate your knowledge and your insight, how can they support you?
Listen, the number one support will be the vote on April 2nd. And if it's early voting, make sure you vote early. Number two, tell somebody. Volunteer, get out here. We need all the boots on the ground as we can. And this is a very organic, ad hoc, campaign. I'm not a politician. You know what I'm saying? So me getting in this process has been realizing that this is the pageantry for the job.
Yeah.
So, if I would have sent my application down there, I'm sure they would have put it in that pile of, that's a great candidate. I get those nice letters that I've applied for this job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But black man, you wouldn't get this job otherwise. And so I'm gonna just be candid about that. So I'm the man, she's the woman, vote for the man. First of all.
Oh, wait. Now, don't say it like that.
Oh,
hey,
no, wait. Now, we got to find other ways. To get we got to find other talking points.
No, bro.
Well, we don't
brother,
want to.
standing with you, bro. We're not here to alienate.
That's not the
We're not here to alienate.
You're a smart man.
What's wrong with what
He's a smart man.
Hey, when it comes
You was just talking about the good old days.
You know what?
And then AI man.
Right, man. You just talking about that.
And no, I'm gonna be the champion for the people.
That's right.
So understand that and know that.
Mr. Michael Harper?
Yes, sir.
What's your website, man?
friendsofmichaelsharper.com. friendsofmichaelsharper.com. Vote, volunteer, donate. It don't happen for free either. We out here. We're gonna come see you. If you want me to come see you, send us an email. We'll visit with you. We're approachable, we're accessible. We plan to be that throughout this process and beyond, because it's about the community having the right resources to make the informed decisions that we need to make.
All right, you're listening to Community Voice. Again, Mr. Michael Harper. He is candidate for Milwaukee County Comptroller. If you want more information, you can go to Friends of Michael Harper.
Michael Harper. Friends of Michael S. Harper.com.
That was Michael Sharper. No, maybe not, Darren. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
For visitors of all ages, starting
That's Mrs. Henderson at 414-434-9595.
Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
Hey, welcome back to Community Voice, and Mike is just hanging out with us, and now you're just gonna have to be part of the general conversation now, bro.
All right.
You know, I was Keith, sorry.
I think we did all that the first time too, didn't we?
What's that?
He was in the general conversation.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
You know, I off the
Very
air,
nice.
we were talking a little bit about, to summarize, the representation.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Harp talked about, you know, we don't see how the sausage is being made.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say you don't want to see how the sausage is being made. But that's, you know, man, I love me a magnolia sauce. Oh my goodness.
Magnolia.
From the great state of Mississippi.
Hey, Red Rose. The Red Rose.
They're coming together making a mongrel race.
I cannot with
Magnolia.
I cannot with these guys.
I love to hear that.
I don't want to see
every Black History Month,
they
they show like Mississippi summer, and they always got that guy out there putting our kids together because they'll make a mongrel race. And I'm like, white dude, you can preach a little bit at a Klan
It's
meeting.
a part of the,
Get you some
part of the culture. Oh, we got some callers. Let's get these callers. You okay taking calls, Mike? Okay, Heart.
Wait, hold
Mike. Oh, my bad.
Okay. Mike, you okay taking calls? No, go on, man.
Oh, this is why we need AI.
Blow the
You
whistle.
know what? Hold on, wait. My AI companion wouldn't have done that. No.
Hold on. I was going to tell you about AI. Aziz came in. I don't know if you were here when Aziz did that. Aziz used my voice, used artificial intelligence, and created a commercial for our fatherhood program.
Okay.
And I'm listening to the commercial that they're running right now on another radio station because the demographics make sense. It was AI.
Mm-hmm.
It was AI. I could
First
listen.
time they slid AI in, I was like, that ain't nobody. That's a computer.
Right. So
Slick.
caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Are you all through?
No, we got
we're
10 more
gonna take
minutes.
another 5 minutes.
Right.
Good morning.
Oh, okay. Well, good morning. Is that young man still in the studio?
Yes, sir.
You running for comptroller for the county of Milwaukee?
Yes, sir.
I voted on Monday. Your name was not on the ballot.
That's a primary. There's no primary for the county comptroller. It's just a general spring election.
It's only 2 people in the race.
Yes, sir. 2 people in the
All
race.
right, I just wanted to know if you're running for a countywide seat and there's early voting, and I voted Monday, there was only 2 candidates, 2 positions on the ballot, and that was my alderman and the mayor.
That is correct. That is correct. So there are only a few spring elections, primary elections. So it's just 2 candidates for the county comptroller position. It'll be on the early ballot for the general election for April 2nd. That'll come out in March.
What is your name, please?
Yes, sir. Michael S. Harper.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
You do the same. Thank you.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Shalom, brother.
What's happening, man?
Hey, let me turn this down. I just called. Is this Mike? I wanted to ask you a guest, Michael Harper.
Yes.
Did you used to live off of 48th in Townsend?
That's my dad.
Your dad?
Yes, sir. That's Big Harp, Michael Harper Sr.
Right, but you lived there with him for a minute.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. This is Craig Stingley.
Hey,
I
Mr.
just wanted to
Stingley.
connect with you.
Yes, sir.
And I heard your voice, and I said, that's got to be that brother. It's been a minute. So I sent Keith a text. Keith, can you give him my number?
Sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, and I still need to work on my golf swing.
Oh, I love
Well,
golf.
you know,
Let me help you.
You got it.
She just, how long you been playing golf?
We can definitely do that.
How long
Yes,
you
sir.
been playing,
You know, I just wanted to connect with you, man, because it's been a long time. So it's good to hear your voice, and definitely throw my support behind you.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
put it
Good to
that
hear
way.
your voice as well, good brother.
All right, peace.
Thank you. So, Keith, I've been
what
playing
else?
golf for a while now.
Okay, can you quantify that for me?
Yes, almost 4 years.
Okay,
I've
that's
been
all
playing golf for 4 years. So much so, I have memberships. I'm part of We Black We Golf.
Okay.
Yeah, one
Richard,
of the original
yeah. Richard.
members, right? And Richard and Bill, they taught me how to play. And guess what? I'm freaking dope. I'm almost thinking about quitting my job, making this a full-time thing. Look, you don't even know. I do this nationally. I'm going to fly to go play golf this weekend. Look.
You saw Keith face on the screen.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, Keith. I'm sorry.
You that good? No. I want to get
I wish I had an amen. You know, if I had my We Black We Golf family on, they would echo what I am saying, Keith.
So you
And
that good?
I will take you out on the green anytime.
Okay.
And it's friendly. I don't like to
Wait a
compete.
minute.
I don't even
She
need
taking you on the green.
Green. I ain't had to.
You ain't no fairway. Just go right to the green.
Yeah, I
Y'all
like
just
that.
go putt.
That's how
No
they describe-
drive.
That's how they describe the golf course.
Okay.
See, you don't even know how to play.
I don't.
Okay, so what you talking about?
I don't know how to play spades.
But guess what?
I
And
don't.
that's why we don't talk to you
But
about
guess
it.
what? Guess what? That's one of the county's attractions.
We have
Our
beautiful
parks and golf courses.
Golf courses. Yes. And I was not, I was blown away. Grants, I was blown away
Yeah.
at how, and so I know we're just shooting the breeze in some ways, but I don't think people even realize what our county assets are.
Yeah.
People just like, oh, I'm going to the airport.
Yeah.
Well, I think
That's a county asset.
But when he
Airport
talks
transit.
about deferred maintenance, see, you want to have your family reunion at a county pavilion.
They want to go to Lincoln Park. Everybody want to go out there and kick
So,
it.
but if they deferred maintenance on the building, you talk about Grant Park, and I was asking a county supervisor, what have they done to that bathhouse out there? Because that's, I don't know if you've ever been down there, but a lot of places had the bathhouses next to the lagoons, and that's a beautiful. So all that deferred maintenance, the domes,
Yeah.
deferred
That's a really
maintenance,
big one.
and we keep putting it off, and then they get to a certain level of disrespect. And I think there's this thing, because when we argued about the Bucks and whether or not a new arena should be built, you're right. It's your roads, it's your public services, all those, but it's also the ambiance of a city.
Yeah.
And I think, for some people, if that ain't your thing, then of course we shouldn't pay for it. But Milwaukee, you really want to be a major league city. And what I mean by major league, not just the teams you have, but what are your social,
the cultural
we want to
assets.
be a major league metropolitan area, right? Because oftentimes we say city is a very, very small geographical area considering the metropolitan area of Milwaukee County and Racine and Kenosha, right? So in the wild counties as well, when we think about the metropolitan definition. But when we think about Milwaukee County, we don't even realize that's West Allis, that's Wauwatosa, that's Glendale, that's Oak Creek,
St.
right?
Francis,
St.
South
Francis,
Milwaukee,
with
Hales Corners,
Cudahy.
yeah.
You know, those are all those areas that, you know, we're sprinkling, you know, people of color are everywhere across Milwaukee County. They're not just only in the city of Milwaukee, and quite honestly, the attraction is the metropolitan area. So while we may have a city goal of 1 million people, the folks are really not going to they're not going to be staying in urban areas. They want to go into some of the subdivisions and suburbs of the Milwaukee County area.
What hurts us when we're talking about more of a metropolitan sense of things is the hyper segregation of Milwaukee.
Wait.
No, let me make my point. I think that when you talk about it now, when you see like you go to Nashville, right? What they did in Nashville, because they began to see black voters beginning to have significant strength, they went to a metropolitan government, right? So it's kind of strange that way, but what it did was it really diluted black voting strength, right? Because you expanded into the county. We don't necessarily live out. And when you look at our percentages now, Brown Deer, I think it's like 60% black now. But then as you go further northeast, the shore, you know, there are some black people out there, but there ain't a lot of black people out there.
Well, let's just take this for a second, because I think it's important to view ourselves within the region, right? We've seen growth in our M7 community that has not really been as great in our city and community, right? But the reality is a stronger Milwaukee is a stronger region.
Yes.
And so we have to think about this. Multicultural cities actually do better.
Yeah.
And so until we're ready to mature into this more connected, collaborative community, we won't realize all the potential that the city, the county, and the region has. And so we got a big opportunity to put Milwaukee on a global scene and stage this summer. And we need to be the best host and most hospitable people that we can be, because we need to attract industry. We need to attract investment to the city as a place to do business. And we want to show that this is a place to do business and global business at that, you know, because again, going back to Century City, I don't expect a company from Germantown to be relocating back on 35th and Capitol, but I can go and talk to a company from Korea. I can go to Canada and talk to people that are in the battery supply chain, which I plan to do in April also, because I'm interested in new business being here. That's what the opportunity represents for this to become truly a region of choice, as the MMAC calls it.
Well, that is problematic in terms of, I know when the former mayor was saying he was trying to compete with the Target, put a Target distribution center. So let's take it away from Milwaukee's own particular economic need. I was going, dude, that ain't going to work. First of all, you're 3 miles from the freeway. What I think Oak Creek was saying was it was less than a half a mile. And they had unfettered, basically you have way, then you get right on the freeway. That's here. You're talking about major trucks going up and down Capitol Drive, which is already overused, I think, in a lot of different ways. So I didn't think, from a practical perspective, I didn't see Target doing that, just because logistically it was very difficult. But if you have other things where we're not talking about moving, I mean,
but think about the lost opportunity in what used to service that area before. Rail.
Yeah.
Didn't have to worry about running no trucks down the street if we invested in rail.
Right.
Because the rail was the artery that brought that back and forth.
What killed that?
You know,
the segregation and not running, because it was going to be that light rail that ran from Milwaukee to Madison. People didn't want it running, because the thing is, then we're going to get on the trains and then go out to Waukesha. Come on, man. I mean, and if we delude ourselves if we think it is not that simplistically racist, those suburbs that you look at, especially when you talk about going west, how did they get those folks? They said, look, you don't want to be in an urban environment. What does urban represent?
Yeah.
Black crime, drugs, dysfunction. So
Poverty.
right. So what do? You go out, what is it? 16 out in Waukesha back in the day.
Yeah.
I used to work at Camp Wickham.
Okay. Yeah.
And we didn't know if 16 was, now that's going from 94. That's putting you straight across part of Waukesha County.
Yeah.
Because it's exploded. There used to be farmland. Now people have developed out there. So I'm just saying, in terms of us being more metropolitan, I think we benefit from being more metropolitan. But I also think that there are people who think they benefit from this insular kind of.
I think it's an assumption that people of color want to live among people that are not of color, and I don't know why we don't. Well, that's because we know who you are. But I think that also, like, why don't? And this is, I know we're coming to the close of the show, so we're not hopefully getting into a long discussion. But nobody says. I'm just speaking to what I see. No one challenges the Jewish community about being among themselves, the Asian community about being amongst themselves, right? Why do we feel like we have to make sure Black people are sprinkled throughout to help diversify a community if they don't want to be there? You don't
have to.
Yeah, but we want to make sure people have the flexibility and freedom to choose where they want. But it's okay if we can build up Black suburban Black urban neighborhoods that are strong economically. I don't think we always have to feel like people need to move out to the suburbs because
some of the happiest times of my life was spent at 3371 North Fifth Street. Some of the happiest times of my life. But I'm telling you, I never want to go back and live.
And that's because the economics have been siphoned.
No, what I'm saying is that the housing stock,
because the economics have been taken from the community. So you want to live amongst your people. You want to have the equal resources to sustain your neighborhood.
Can I push back?
Like other neighborhoods.
As I'm pushing back. Sometimes, though, the thing I love about my neighborhood is the diversity of my neighborhood. I mean, we have all kind of people living on my block. And that, I think, because part of the mindset in America, look, the civil rights movement was not about Black people wanting to be with white people. The civil rights movement was about resources.
Absolutely.
And where were those resources? You know, people say, well, white people's ice is cold. And no, white people have ice and we don't. That becomes the issue. And so when people are moving, look, it was great. My mama's first house, 3371 North Fifth Street. My mama bought that house. Great. But we also knew how tough it was living in that house.
So again, Keith.
But that was economics.
That's my point, that it is not that we want to have the resources to sustain our own communities. I want to be able to go to a store where I can find Delta grocery store food items. That means I'm going to be in a Black neighborhood with people that know my culture and know that we don't cook our dressing with stovetop. I'm gonna make sure we got some Jiffy, not Jiffy mix. We'll make sure we have some Ancient Mama cornmeal.
No, you can say Jiffy. You can say Jiffy.
That's the quick meal, y'all.
Because Mama don't even exist no more. She gone. And Uncle Ben gone.
They gone. They got fired. They got fired, but then they kept Count Dracula. They got fired. So they fired Uncle Ben and they fired Aunt Jemima, but they keep it Count Chocula. They going like, well, what's up with that? You know?
But really, that's what it is, right? Because even when you think of like some East Coast, some of the prominent Black communities in our country, they are Black neighborhoods.
Prince George's County.
They have
the
they
richest
are Black
county.
neighborhoods that have people of well means, but they want to live amongst each other.
But you can't be
You can't
be barbecuing on that 4,000 square foot house in the front yard.
Wait.
You can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Why not? We're free. Why not?
Should have been that. Take it back to grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. That gets to a point that when do we realize that if we gentrify, is that still gentrification?
Yes.
Hold on, wait.
Yes.
Wait.
It is.
What's gentrifying? What's gentrifying for us? What does that mean? Because we're here already.
But I'm just saying, if we're coming and making the investment and it's considered gentrification,
it's a different we.
is that still gentrification?
Yes.
Because we still want this community improved.
We still displacing people.
Hold on, wait.
Still displacing
so,
folks.
so you're getting in on you're talking about you're talking about the back end of it, right? You're talking about where we are now. But if I was able to have a stable neighborhood as Keith grew up, if his mom was able to have a stable neighborhood as he grew, he wouldn't want to feel like he got to move to Interest Park because his neighborhood would look like what he would like for it to look like.
Could have went to Rose Park.
It would have grown. It would have grown.
I'm in
with
Interest
him.
Park, and I'm really offended that she's talking about me being in Interest Park.
My bad.
And you live in that diverse community, so
Hold on, wait. I have a problem. I have a problem with my neighborhood. I sure do.
You still there?
Listen.
That big of a problem.
You know what's funny? Hold on, Keith. You know, I hate that.
It ain't that bad that you moved.
I hate to admit this.
No, you don't.
I do.
Why?
Because I am still there, and I was looking to move, right? So I was looking at Neckwad. I said,
whole lot of black people in Neckwad.
Wait, but guess why?
Why?
Well, one, the resources they've been taken from my community and is creating a very unhealthy environment. Okay. I need to sleep at night. I don't want to hear the police all night. Well, but because
did you think that maybe some of those folks who then moved out was feeling the same way you're feeling?
Hold on, but the problem is we have not experienced equity in our neighborhoods. Right. Meaning we have not had and not even just equity parity, right? We want to make it even. We want to balance out the scales to say that we need extra and more resources in these communities.
Let me give you an example
what has
Mike
been
just asked you.
orchestrated.
You've gone in and made a significant investment in your headquarters.
Yes, I have.
That's bringing up
the neighborhood.
Yeah, but what bringing up the neighborhood means?
Oh, but I'm bringing up the people too, Keith. No, you have to do both of them at the same time.
So
we
would
build
that be
people
gentrification?
and buildings, and we have to do both.
So to do both, then we have to have skin in the game, and we have to be on the cap table, because if we don't own it, then we just sharecroppers all over again.
Tell you how we want to do it, Keith, because you're absolutely right. We do need to own it, and we need to build up the people around. So that means that as we bring in, so this is why I struggle with us bringing, we can't usher in gentrification because naturally we want to see those around us do well. So that means I need to be engaging. And this is what we do at our organization, Unite WI. We're on 25th and North Avenue now. We just redeveloped the building. Shout out to Michael Mim Group. They did an amazing job.
And the value of that building now? Up.
It's very, very, very much up. Very, very,
so
very
what does that mean? But then everybody else.
Guess what? I counted that when I targeted the
I'm glad you did it. So first of all, I'm applauding you for doing it. But that's an example
that we want to
that when you make that improvement, it impacts other people.
And so guess what we've been doing? We've been engaging the residents. We want to know what it is that you need so that you can be solid. If you don't own your home, we want you to buy your home if you're capable of doing that. Some people don't want to own a home, and I really struggle with this push. I know that's how we share, we transfer wealth, and it's a great wealth generator, but not everybody wants that responsibility. And we respect that. How do we make sure you can take care of your home, your family, that you can build wealth, that as this neighborhood improves and the economics increase, that you can come along with it? We're not pushing you out.
Let me just share one point. Wealth is not an entitlement.
Mm-hmm. It's not.
Wealth is not an entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're not willing to participate, whether grandma used to have just enough money to pay the penny policy, that's all but she saved it and she invested it so that it was something in the future. So no matter what your economic status is or where you are within, as Keith put it, in the class, if you're not in, you're out. Right. Right. It's just that fundamentally simple. And some of these things and decisions are that straightforward. You have to be in or you're out. Yeah. And so investment and wealth creation is something that you can't do passively. You can, but I'm just saying you have to say, oh, I got 5. I'm gonna put my 5 on that with Briz and Keith's and Desi's, and we gonna have this pool. So we have to start to think about the collective economic, because I just saw a Hmong group buy a church.
Yeah.
Right next door. And I'm like, okay, I saw them in the parking lot. I went and introduced myself. How y'all doing? Welcome to the neighborhood. But I'm watching them move. And I'm watching how they moving. and they moving together.
Yes.
We still out here trying to be the Lone Rangers, do our own thing, and think we go, oh, I got a new car. Oh, I'm looking down at you now. And so we still have that type of behavior and mentality that is immature as it relates to economic things.
So I wouldn't be looking down.
You know what?
I can't see him. I can't see him.
You know what? You know, it's funny because I know we're getting ready to go to our last break. One of the things that I recognized yesterday, I went to the Bucks game last night. It was a sad game, but nonetheless, I was at the Bucks game, and I parked. So we have our new museum. Shout out to Mem Group.
Yes.
I mean, this brother is doing it, right?
Big Mike.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. So I go behind where they're building the new museum, and I'm parking on the street. I don't know what street that is, but I see kind of kitty corner this building, and I said, "Oh, this building looks new." I said, "Oh, somebody." The first assumption, oh, it must be a white company came in here and bought this building and renovated it. No renovation. I said the first sign of gentrification is new windows. First sign. I said it just has new windows, and it gives a whole nother look to the neighborhood, to the community, right? It's not hard. It's not hard, but I appreciate HARP bringing some of the resources, the conversation to the resource. So please, folks, go to Clinton Rose tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow, 10 to
noon.
10 to noon, because we need to be able to beautify our communities. We just haven't had the resources to do so. We're not gentrifying our community when we buy the properties, when we improve the No, we're not, Keith. We're bringing it up with us. Okay, go ahead.
Quick things. It's a great project that's down on MLK that was announced last week with Anthony Casey and the MLK Economic Development Corporation. That's going to be an exciting project. Also, the county has launched a suburban affordable housing program, which
is moving out there,
so it probably won't be low income housing, but it'll probably be workforce and some type of mixed income development. But they're starting to do more of that outside of the city, which is a good thing, because that's again diversifying, because we don't want all low income housing in the community. Right. I mean, because then all we're doing is just feeding that same so we're just putting poor people with more poor people, saying they just in new buildings, but we haven't changed their economic trajectory, any mobility. And I'll just make this final point about when the Bucks came to town, right? The new ownership, they were the example of public-private partnership that we need to emulate. They came in, they got ish done.
Yeah.
And it was coordination with city, county, and state government, and they brought in private investment, and they got it done. The way we're gonna move the county forward, the city of Milwaukee, is through the same type of collaboration, public-private partnership. I need y'all support on April 2nd. I'm Michael S. Harper. I'm done for today.
All right, we want to take this last caller, Debo, or no?
We gotta go.
Are we done?
We had a break, right?
All right, last caller.
Caller, welcome to the program. I'm sorry. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I agree with you, Keith. You sound like similar situations I came from. My mother worked for the county when they bought their first house. And, I used to go with her all the time to realtors because I wanted to see what I would be comfortable in.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God we ain't bound Keith. There was some rough areas we looked at back in the day. When it was
I still got people on
Keith. They said the white folks all moved out and then left it to us when they said white flight. It was them days.
Well, down in the valley on Keith was pretty rough. Down on 2nd, 3rd Street, Keith, that was the valley.
No.
That was the valley. It was rough down that way.
Lived over there. One of her best friends from down south lived over there.
Right.
And we'd go and visit. I would take her over there, and I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, if I had
and
to go to
they
the
showed us some houses over there too.
Yeah, it was the darkest
Some
part of the city.
jumped on it, and I'm like, no.
Hey, if you're not careful, River West gonna keep eating Harambe.
Yeah, and you know what? I used to be the chairman of the board of Harambe.
It's true,
and that's been the issue.
Yeah,
because back in the day, there used to be a group called ESHAC, and we had Harambe. We were all doing housing rehabilitation, but ESHAC, they ended up going out of business. They over leveraged. They couldn't maintain everything they had. But there's another neighborhood that I think is cool. I tell you, a neighborhood, if I was young, I'd move into Bayview.
Yeah.
I moved.
It's hot.
Bayview is funky, man.
It's hot.
It got a lot of good amenities. If you're young, single, oh man, it's a nice spot.
Food scene, everything.
man.
Food scene is hot. You know, all that.
I'm young and single. I don't want to move. No, I'm being funny. I'm being funny. I'm being funny.
There's,
I'm being funny.
my folks are still over there though. The black folks that own. There's a couple of black folks.
Belly.
That own
But
yeah.
yep. Oh no,
Yeah.
what's it called? Belly Bellini.
Yeah.
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 Mike
food.
Meals.
Great move.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have great food.
All right. Man, this has been great. Mr.
Yes,
Michael
it has.
Harper,
Thank you, sir.
candidate for
Thank you,
comptroller,
man.
County of
Awesome.
Milwaukee.
Awesome. We appreciate
Okay.
it.
Okay. And of course, it's Wednesday. Miss Bria Grant, thank you. Keon, thank you. Carvey, thank you. Debo, thank you. Good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. We hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. Y'all have a great Valentine's Day and go from this place in peace.
All right, you all.